just like a broken record, same old songs of accusation play. Like who are you to speak the truth? Just look at all your failures and mistakes. And if they really knew you, there's no way they could love you anyway. Oh, but I will fight the lies with the truth.
Hello, and welcome to the Send Help Podcast, a podcast and a lifeline for moms who are stuck in the trenches of mommyhood, bringing them encouragement through Jesus, laughter, and sisterhood. Sisterhood. You guys, we are back. Finally, again. It's been another 2 weeks, but that's okay. Christy and I have been going, trying to squeeze every last ounce of fun out of the summer before we hit school, which I can't believe school year is already here.
I know.
I haven't gotten the school supplies. I have put them in the basket, but I have not clicked buy. But it's okay. So we went to SeaWorld and you went camping.
We went to Jellystone.
Yes.
Y'all, I didn't know. I pass it. Going that direction on whatever highway that is. I don't know. You pass it all the time going to other places.
35, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And
it always seemed kind of strange to me. Because
it's just right there. I know. It's weird to me too.
Yeah. It's just right there in Burleson. And I didn't know that it was a thing that was like all over the United States. I was like, it's really weird that someone took Yogi Bear and made a park and put it right there in Burleson.
Did he steal your sandwiches?
No. But yeah,
you've been now twice.
I've gone twice now. Yeah. I don't know what I thought Jellystone was.
Yeah.
For the majority of my life. Didn't know you could camp there. Didn't know that they had stuff to do. There's a water park. There's it's a really cool place. It's a really cool, fun place. They have crafts. They have scheduled activities throughout the entire day.
That's amazing.
We rode on a fire truck.
Wow.
There's a hayride. There's a wet and wild hayride that says you should expect to get wet. But then, we were out when that hayride happened, and really it should have read, get other people wet, because every single one of them had a water gun or water balloons of some sort and really just sprayed everyone that they passed.
Oh, that's funny.
So, but then there were also I want to call them camp counselors, because, they're all teenagers working there for the summer. It was very much like going to summer camp, but with your whole family. Seriously. So they had water hoses in various places that they were spraying down the hayride as it passed them by.
Wow.
But from 9 to 3 is craft time, and you can go into the bear den and pick a craft and paint a ceramic or color a birthday card, because apparently it was Cindy Bear's birthday while we were there. I don't know.
Who knew?
They have family dance parties at night. They have scheduled activities throughout the entire day.
Wow.
It's really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we did a lot of those. We did sand art. We did tie-dye, which so it took me a while to realize that, because they had it set up so great.
Yeah.
They had the foil pan things. There was the basket turned upside down in the foil pan that you laid your shirt on so that, all of the dye would drip off and into the pan and not just sit on your shirt or whatever. I was like, that's brilliant. That's probably how everyone tie-dyes, but not me. It took me a minute to realize that Annabelle had her hand in the pan and was playing with like it was a pan of water or something, and she was just playing with the dye.
Oh, no.
Her fingers are still... Really, they're just black because it was all the colors combined together. But I kind of freaked out just a little bit. I was like, hey, girls, don't touch anything. You're just pick up the bottle, spray your shirt, put it down. Don't touch yourself. Don't touch the dye that comes out of the bottle. We need to be very clean about this. And I don't think either one, they weren't listening to me, or they didn't care or understand what I was saying to them, because all of them got it pretty much everywhere.
Like, maybe we should try with latex gloves next
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
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 But like, it was on the bench.
Yeah. Note
So
to self.
Avery had huge, colorful marks all down her shin
Oh.
because it was on the bench when she got up on the bench and was on her knees to reach the...
How fun.
Yeah. I don't know. It was everywhere.
How fun.
Yeah. But hey, the shirts look amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. They rubber banded them for us.
Awesome.
Therefore, it was done correctly.
Yes.
And you could pick which way you wanted it done.
Amazing.
Yeah. So much fun.
It's a mom's dream.
Yeah. It's
Right there.
okay that my children have purple and green.
Your
and
children are
blue.
also tie-dyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's totally fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
We also have a lot of ceramics now.
Hey. Didn't know you were a ceramics person, but
I
now
know.
you are.
We have a lot of them now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And sand art.
Ooh. How fun. But you know what? You look like you have taken 4 years off of your life.
Well, that's because I went and got my hair did.
I'm telling you what. I mean, you look 35.
I sat down in the chair and he was like,
It's been a minute.
it's been a minute. I was like, it really has. I know it was at least before school started last year. And he was like, well, I looked it up and it was last June.
It's been a year and 2 months.
Oh. Wow, that's a lot longer than I thought. And he was like, looking at your color, you've had about 8 inches of growth.
You're also
Wow.
as tan as Malibu Barbie.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you look incredible.
I used like the good stuff
You
too.
used
Like, I
SPF
try to-
70,
I try
but
to
you
keep
look
the sun off of me.
amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. My swimsuit has a very high neckline.
We've learned this.
Yes.
Yes.
So when I put on that V-neck shirt this morning,
Hey, you've got layers.
I've got layers.
Yeah, it's just
got a
burned
lot of
into your
layers.
skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I take my watch off,
Right? Me too. Look.
that's a serious
too.
difference.
Ta-da.
Yeah. That's like bright fluorescent white underneath
For
where
sure.
my watch goes.
The watch is SPS 1000.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. There were a few times, like I turn on the water thing.
Yeah.
There were a few times that I'm like tapping at the screen, nothing's happening. And I'm like lifting it up off my arm and shaking it out. And then it would light back up and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay. I didn't know there were limitations to this water lock.
Well, yesterday I was at Eagle Mountain Lake and my water lock decided to unlock itself while under the water.
Oh, no.
And I was like, great, it just sucked in a ton of water. Wonderful. But it does that during work sometimes too. So I know that it's fine.
It can handle it.
It can handle it.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's totally
It's totally fine. Okay, so Shamu.
Shamu.
Let's talk about SeaWorld for a second. Because you guys, this
Amanda's got a thing with Shamu.
Oh my gosh.
If any of you
I
are
really
unaware.
do. No, okay. So I saw the original Shamu.
Mm-hmm.
The original Shamu. And I have the original Shamu stuffed animal
Yes.
on my bed. Because we got it out of storage and it's from 1983 or 1982. And Josh has been snuggling with him
Aw.
every day since we've gotten back from SeaWorld. And I feel like I experienced this with him And I got to see Josh fall in love with creation.
Yeah.
It was, y'all, I cried through the whole stupid show. I did. I handed Tim the phone. I said, I'm not taking pictures. I'm not taking video. You are in charge. Josh and I are going to sit here and I'm going to just watch this with him because we worked really hard to get to the first show and we didn't make it in time to get to the splash zone. And I was like, well, we're not going to this one. We're just going to have to work our day around the next one. And we're going to wait in line for 30 minutes before because we are going to the splash zone. And Josh was like, we don't have to get, why does that matter? I was like, because it matters. My mom and my brother used to razz my dad and I because I never wanted to get completely wet at SeaWorld because it was cold.
Yes.
When, the sea creatures would splash you because it was this ice cold water and it was salty and you smelled like fish all day.
Yeah. And
so they would sit down in the splash zone and it was always so fun. And a part of it was because, my shorts would then chafe my legs and I'd, feel like my inner thighs were bleeding. Cause, I've never known a time in my life where my thighs didn't touch. I wasn't fat. I was skinny, but my thighs still rubbed together. And if you got to do a whole day at an amusement park
with wet shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I let a lot of things hold me back and my dad never really wanted to get wet. So we would sit a couple of rows back from the splash zone and then we would watch them have the best time ever. And then they would razz us the whole day about how we didn't want to sit in the splash zone and how they were the splash zone of life. Well, when we planned this trip, I looked at my mom. She was like, well, I'm going to sit in the splash zone with Josh. And I said, no. I said, you can sit with Josh and me in the splash zone because I get to be the fun mom now. And she was like, well, okay, then. She was pleasantly surprised.
Right.
So, we beelined it to every splash zone. We sat on the second row. We got fully submerged. It was amazing. Josh was after the first big splash. He was like, I'm done. And I was like, no. Dude, we're here. I was like, we're not leaving. Mm-mm. He was like, well, all these people left. I was like, they can't hack it. We're Olsons. We're going to stay because I know it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Your mind is about to be blown. That was when the little whales were out. The big guys hadn't come out yet. And then the glory of these incredible creatures and how beautiful they are. And I just got hit with this. I don't know. All I ever wanted to be when I was little, wanted to be a marine biologist. Well, and a country music star. So let's don't get it twisted.
You can do both.
I wanted to do both. But I went to SeaWorld camp. Where you go for a whole week. I slept with the penguins. Yeah. Yes.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes. I wanted to go and, because our friend Amanda Hecht went ahead and worked at SeaWorld. Yeah. And she did dolphin training the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And I let the wetsuit keep me from pursuing it. Yeah. And how dumb is that? How so dumb. Anyway. And then the trainers were no longer allowed to be in the water with the orcas. And for good reason. But I had dolphin trainer, I had whale trainer Barbie.
Yes.
When I was little.
Yeah.
You know what Josh picked out? He picked out a whale trainer, a male whale trainer, like Barbie. It was like a male. It was a doll. It's not a Barbie.
Right.
But he's in the whale trainer suit and he's got this little orca with him. And his name is Ben. Mm-hmm. Yes. And he he has been in so many bathtub adventures since we got back. And it is just, I cried. Y'all, I didn't just teary-eyed. Like, I cried. Tim's like, he looked over at me. He goes, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm crying." And I was just like, every time the whale came out of the water, when he breached up and they were feeding him, and even when he was just hanging out, just swimming by, I'm just crying. I've got chills, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're just so beautiful. And I get kicked. I just, like, everything clicked for me, because when I was 3 years old, I saw the original Shamu, and it was the first opportunity that I ever had with the majesty of God's creation. Mm-hmm. And sure, you can say all you want about SeaWorld, but not everyone gets the chance to go out into the wild and see them in their natural habitat. You know, just like we don't get to go out and, like, 2 years ago today, I was on a safari,
right,
on safari in Kenya,
right,
and not everyone gets that chance to go on safari in Kenya,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, thankfully, we can go to the Fort Worth Zoo and see those giraffes.
Feed a giraffe.
Yeah,
romaine lettuce.
Exactly. This is the same kind of experience.
Yeah.
I had never experienced, because I'm allergic to every animal that has fur. But my life, like, opened up to the ocean because of SeaWorld. And I saw animals that I never would have been able to see because of SeaWorld when I was little. And I got to share that with Josh. And then we went to the Beluga Whales.
Oh.
And we were right up against the glass. And this one beluga whale just came up on the glass and stuck his chin out. And Josh just, like, he was like, "He's looking at me." And I'm like, "I know." He's, like, looking straight at him. And I'm looking at Josh. And Tim captured the only picture that I've ever seen of myself momming. Like, because, you know, dads are not great at capturing
right
in the moment shots of us momming.
It's always when we're taking a bite of food.
Right.
Yeah.
That we're like, "Oh my gosh, that's me."
Yeah.
Momming. That's actually what I look, that's what I look like when I'm looking at my baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I cried over that picture. And it was because we were talking about, like, it was because the beluga whale was like,
yeah.
got his chin over the glass looking at Josh, and Josh is going, "Oh!" And then Tim bought me a stuffed animal. He spent way too much money on a stuffed beluga for me. And I have slept with it every night, just like a little kid. I'm telling you, it was the most precious time. Josh didn't enjoy all the walking at all. He didn't want to feed the sea lions because he didn't want to touch the fish.
Oh.
But it's fine. I did it. I was like, "That's cool. It's cool. It's cool, bro. Yeah. Move out of the way because I'm going to do it."
I was probably the same way.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, I know I was the same way.
I definitely was. But as an adult, I got to embrace all the things that I didn't do.
Isn't it so nice that we can do that?
Yeah.
Love
it
that.
really was. And we got to do it with my parents. And it was really special. It was special being able to do it with my parents.
Yeah.
And getting to see Josh experience it for the first time was really, really precious. And Tim and I had to turn around the next morning and book it out of there and come all the way back home. And they got to stay. The next day they did the Alamo, and then they went and did the caverns, and then they moseyed their way back the next day. No, like the next day, I think they did the Alamo, then they woke up and they did the caverns and they came home. Because they stayed a whole nother night. But we both had to go to work. But then I got sick. And spent the week recovering from bronchitis, which is dumb. But it's fine. It was worth it. If that's what I had to do in order to go to SeaWorld, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. Life is way too short not to sit in the splash zone.
It really is.
It really is. And if the reason that you're not sitting in the splash zone is because you don't want your thighs to chafe, I have found some anti-chafing gel that has worked miracles. It's a life changer. I will give you the link. I'm telling you.
People that run marathons use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it held up from all that salt water.
Oh.
All the salt water.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff. All day. Put it on in the morning.
Yeah.
Didn't have a problem. And we were there until 10 o'clock at night. So all day wear. Yeah. One application. I mean, I know that that's not what this podcast is about, but it's also for moms.
It is. So if you need to know that that exists.
Yeah. And moms, we all have to do theme parks.
It's true.
Zoo. If you have to go to a water park.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Like I was prepared. I had dry clothes for all of us just in case.
Yeah.
I had a ton of paper towel for wiping of faces. I went to the dollar store and got a spray fan, a Mister fan, which we took to Six Flags that saved my life, and to San Antonio. And everybody made fun of me, but I was like, you're going to want this.
Yeah.
And they did. And then we took empty water bottles because you can't take water in. And then like plastic bag to stuff anything that needed to be waterproof into.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then carabiners to hang hats on because I knew Josh was going to get tired of wearing his hat.
Yep.
And he did immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we used it all. And then I also grabbed, Josh did fall. He fell. But guess what? Mommy had a giant knee-sized Band-Aid. And he cut his finger. And I don't know how he cut his finger. He was trying to get into his new doll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the plastic was very hard. And he just started bleeding all the way down. And I had grabbed a ton of Band-Aids. And I just took a ton of stuff with me. Like I took handy wipes, I took wet wipes, just baby wipes, all the things. And then I had child ibuprofen just in case. And then I had plenty of like Excedrin tension headache and ibuprofen and Aleve because I didn't know who was going to need it. And my mom the whole time was like, oh, no, Amanda, you don't need to take care of me. And I was like, no, here, just take this. Just take this. Here, just drink some water. She's like, I'm fine. Just drink some water. It's fine. She's like, you need to stop trying to take care of it. I was like, I'm not taking care of you. I'm taking care of everybody. This is what I do. I'm a mom now. It's
You've
fine.
You've always done that.
Yeah. I have a Mary Poppins bag, always. Until I don't. And then I need something. So
right? When you don't take it all, then you need
this
all
is
of those
as much
things.
for me as it is for you.
Yeah.
Who else has a Mary Poppins bag? Raise your hand. I can't see you, but I know you're there.
Right.
I know it.
Every mom.
Yeah. Because the second you don't have it on you, some catastrophe happens. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I always have it on me.
Yep.
Or somebody turns to you and they say, Amanda, you always have all the stuff. Do you have it? And you're like, I don't have it with me. I'm so sorry.
I didn't think I would need it for this because my kids aren't here.
Right. Nope.
You always need it.
Always need it. Mm-hmm. Yup. Anyway. Yeah. So that is where we've been. And hopefully once school gets underway, we will get back to more regular programming. That's the plan, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Eventually we'll get around to doing our season 4 photo shoot, which would really end up being season 5 photo shoot.
It's true.
Yeah, because
I don't even know what we're on.
we're in the end. Basically, we have 10 more episodes until season 4 is over.
Oh.
Yeah. I know.
I had no idea.
If we stick to our 25, 26 episode a season format, but because we have been so sporadic over the summer and with our crazy baseball schedules in the spring, normally we would be at the end of a season around now. But it's fine. It's okay.
It's fine.
Fall ball's about to start up,
It is.
guys. So I don't know.
It's true.
I don't know.
We signed Carson up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to have to record on days.
Yeah, we have to do it during the day.
During the day, it's going to have to happen. Because, yeah, you guys, I'm driving Josh to my parents' house the other day, and I'm like, buddy, we're going to have to register you for fall ball. And this has been a point of contention the last couple weeks because he's like, I'm not doing it. I'm like, you made a commitment, buddy. And he's like, I'm not doing it. And I was like, well, it's time to sign you up. You're doing it. You've made a commitment. We bought all the stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, we bought it all for spring, but when we were buying it, we were like, this is a lot of investment for you to only do one season.
Yeah.
And then he told his coach he was going to do fall ball at the end of, yeah. So then he pops off from the back. Well, the only way I'm doing fall ball, Mom, is if you sign up to be team mom. And I whipped my head around while driving, almost driving into the retainer wall to laugh. And I was like, what? And then he starts to explain it. I was like, you need to explain to me your reasons why I need to be team mom. And he explained to me that it would make him more confident to have me close by. And then he started talking, and the more he talked, the more excited he got the possibility of me being in the dugout. He was like, you'd really like sitting in there because it's a really good place to watch the game. Yeah.
It's right up there in the action, Mom.
He goes, Mom, you could take great pictures from there.
It's true.
He's really trying to sell it at that point. He goes, and you need another job anyway, right? And I was like, it would be a whole nother job. He was like, yeah, that wouldn't really be fair to you, would you? Would it? Because that's a lot of work. I was like, it's a lot of work, but you're worth it. You are worth it. And if it's something that's really important to you, and he's like, he really is. So I was like, I can't guarantee that the coach will go for it, but I can definitely try.
Yeah. Just sit in the splash zone, Amanda.
Right. It's definitely the splash zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need a poncho.
No ponchos needed. I don't
Just get right
I
up
don't
there.
do ponchos. Ponchos are too sweaty.
Get right up there. Front row, splash
Yeah.
zone.
So front row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Social anxiety be darned.
Right.
Yeah. It's for your baby. It's anything for him. Yeah.
What is my splash zone?
What is your splash zone? Let's talk about splash zones. What's your splash zone? What's holding you back?
What is my
What's
splash
holding you
zone?
back from your splash zone? I know what your splash zone is.
I'm pretty sure my splash zone lies in a field in Wyoming. So
It also lies in going and praying for people.
well, that too.
And Nineveh.
Yeah.
Have you gone to Nineveh?
I did.
Whoa!
I did. It was a splash zone, for sure. Was for sure a splash zone.
Holy smokes.
Full on. I started the conversation with, I'm not medicated, but I probably should be, and I apologize because I'm probably going to cry. But it was good. It was good. It ended well. So we can talk about it later.
Okay. I know we're not going to talk about it now, but I'm so surprised at the answer that just came out of your mouth.
I know.
My mind is officially blown.
Yeah, I sat in that splash zone.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You sure did. That's what it is. You know what? The 4 years that have been taken off, your 35-year-oldness right now that's coming in the door.
The splash zone washed it all away.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with Jellystone.
Yeah.
This is all about the splash zone.
Yeah.
You went to Nineveh. That's what happened. You got that Nineveh glow.
I did. I jumped off the boat.
Yeah, you did.
Swam ashore.
You jumped right off the boat.
I did.
That's a big splash.
It really was.
Yeah.
It really, really
Oh
was.
my goodness.
But God kind of threw it in my face.
Did you tell Amber?
Literally, I did. Yeah. I did. She called me. She's like, what? Yeah. But no, I mean, God literally was throwing it in my face. So like, okay, if I don't, I might as well go crawl in a hole.
I had one of those today where God was screaming it so loudly that I couldn't even hear anything else that was going on. And I was like, okay.
Okay, I'll go sit in the splash zone.
Okay.
And
I will go and ask this one question, but we're not going to go into the other ones.
right.
Because I know the can of worms that this is going to open for the person.
Right.
But yes, I agree. I can't not ask this question for the well-being of the person.
Yeah.
So I did. There were tears. It was not the answer that I wanted to hear. And it was a to be continued. Now we have to come up with a plan of action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the only hard part, but it is one of the more difficult parts, coming up with a plan of action.
Yeah.
But no, man.
I was really hoping I was going to be surprised by the answer.
Right.
And it wasn't going to be what I had hoped that it wasn't. Like, great.
You became that person's splash zone.
Yes. She wasn't expecting
She wasn't
for that
expecting
to come
it.
at
And
her
you
at that
just
moment.
threw all the water on her.
I did. I was Shamu.
Full circle.
Full circle. She didn't know she was in the splash zone until I came. I honestly feel like I have done this to the whole church that we go to now. It's like, uh-oh, we didn't know Shamu came. Shamu's now here. We're all getting wet now. Right. Cool. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. Okay, so you went to Nineveh.
I did.
That's amazing.
I
did. Yeah. I mean, that means you're about to start like seriously stepping out in obedience, though, I'm thinking.
I mean, we could just take it case by case.
I don't think so. God's not in the business of case by case.
No. Oh. It's true.
Not in these situations.
It's true. If you're going to go sit in one splash zone, you might as well sit in all of them.
Once you're wet, you're wet.
Yeah. We've already learned about the anti-chafing stuff.
Yeah.
So
there's no reason.
there's no reason
Yeah.
to not just go for the next splash zone.
I can hand you the Mary Poppins bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have all you need.
Yeah.
Including a change of dry clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, but no, I'm just going to go from splash zone to splash zone.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Wow. I want to jump up and down right now, but I'm watching my heart rate, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But I'm so incredibly excited. I'm excited. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm so excited about it, but I am.
Fine. It's fine.
I am your, like, consummate cheerleader. Like, I will always be cheering for these kind of things.
You're my mat talker.
Oh, for sure. Yes,
Always.
girl. Yes. Yes.
What was that?
I just monster voice. It happens sometimes. It just does. When like you can't go any higher, you just have to go lower. Yeah, because it's guttural.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to change the octave again
just,
in some way.
Yeah,
So
somebody's got to hear
down.
you.
Drop it
Yeah.
down.
Somebody's got to. Yes. Yeah, I'll do it all day long for your benefit.
Yes.
For you. Yeah, it just you totally just forgot the trauma of going to Nineveh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Because of the
Yes.
just took it all right out.
Done.
No, but now I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the next splash zone is going to be. I'm a little terrified, to be completely
I don't
honest.
know. You know what, though? I will find the old pep dress.
Yes.
And I will jump into a pool.
Yes.
I'll splash you.
I feel like going to Nineveh was a splash zone because like you've got your drawbacks. You don't want to go sit in the splash zone. You put off the splash zone for a long time until you had your own child.
Yeah.
And then you wanted your child to experience the splash zone. But there are drawbacks to the splash zone. One being the walking around wet for the rest of the day and the chafing. But then when you finally give in and you sit in the splash zone, like this greatness is unleashed upon you. Like what could it be opening the door for?
Yeah.
If you go sit in your splash zone,
Yeah.
like not only are you being obedient, but what is God going to unleash on you for that obedience?
The beauty of and the power of seeing the orca, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like seeing it
all
that close and
Yes.
seeing the force of the water. I don't know if you saw some of the videos of Tim that Tim got. Is incredible that
It is.
that much closer. Like you don't get that from further back.
right.
It's cool from further back, but being in it.
You know, I was going to say last week, but I don't even know when it was. But, you know, we very much prayed for God to loose his lips on us.
Yeah, he did.
What if we asked him to loose the splash?
Ooh.
I don't know if that's a thing. Like, can you loose a splash? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yes. I mean, because honestly, like,
you have
there's
to be closer. You have to be close to
Yes.
experience the splash.
yes,
You have to be close to actually get wet from the splash.
it's an outpouring.
It is an outpouring.
It's an outpouring, whether it's a new anointing.
But you have to be present.
Yeah, you
have
do.
You got to be there. You got to be in the right zone.
You have to be there when he what? Like, I'm thinking pushes over. Like, if he pushes over like this barrel of anointing oil, you need to be on the front row to
Right.
get it. You know?
Yeah.
Or
If you're
if he's in
3
the
rows
river
back,
and like, you know, he's like splashing you.
yeah.
Like, what if you get into like the splash fight with Jesus and it's
Yeah.
great? Like, how much fun would
splash
that be? Don't you know they probably did that at some point? Like, they're just messing around, like out by the fishing nets and they're like splashing each other. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to get splashed by Jesus. I bet he's pretty good at it.
He probably
He could
is.
just conduct the entire wave to just come up.
He didn't even have to touch it.
No, he could just be like,
I bet he
knock
did.
you over.
I bet he did. I bet he
Oh,
messed with
yeah.
them all the time, and they get splashed, and he like, it wasn't me. My hands are right here.
I'm dry. Man, he had to have a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, to deal with Peter.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you even when you were telling this story earlier about sitting in the splash zone, I just kept thinking, where's my splash zone? And just pour it out on me. Where do I need to go? What do I need to do?
Yeah. I want so badly to I want to be that close to the Lord that when
He
he's
can't not get wet.
right. Yes.
And also, like, not just you can't not get wet, but to be that close to see the majesty that's happening in front of you.
Yeah. In its total glory.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what's the most incredible part. I mean, about sitting in the splash zone. It's not that you get wet. It's that you're that close.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that opportunity. That's why people go all the way out there where the whales are in their
Yeah.
natural habitat. That's why boats get flipped over.
Right.
Is because you're trying to get closer, because the closer you get, the more incredible it is.
Yeah.
It's one thing to see a dolphin from a boat. It's another thing to swim with them.
Yes.
You know, like it's,
To ride on one.
yeah. I mean, Josh has now seen all of the Free Willy movies
Yeah.
and he gets it.
That's what I'm getting him for Christmas, the necklace.
Oh my gosh. He would love
Free Willy
that.
necklace.
He would love that so much. I mean, I know that I keep going back and forth between like talking about Shamu and then talking about the glory of God, and they are not at all in the same, but God created orcas. God created these incredible, majestic
Yes.
beasts that
Yes.
are out there. Everything that we see that we're like, whoa, how incredibly majestic is that? That's amazing. Like the sheer force of these animals and these creatures, and how people have these spiritual experiences that don't even believe in God.
Right.
You know, it's like God's like, yeah, I do exist. That thing that you're feeling, that's me.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they exist to sing of his glory.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You can have a Holy Spirit experience at SeaWorld.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah. Go experience creation and experience him, and go sit in a splash zone of your own, whether it is a real splash zone, a physical one, or what is your splash zone? Like, what is it that you have been maybe making big circles around thinking, I don't really want to sit there because I don't want to get all wet.
Right.
I'm thinking
mean-
about all of the negatives instead of,
You know, one example that I can think of currently at this moment in time is your Kenyan trip.
Mhm.
There are a lot of what ifs, and do we really need to put the energy into working towards being able to go on that trip?
yeah,
How are we going to make that happen?
yeah. A lot of people saying you shouldn't go.
Right. But
And like
I would wager that the entire experience in Kenya was a huge splash zone,
for sure.
witnessing the majesty of God, getting completely drenched.
Yeah. Yes, most definitely.
But I mean, not that everyone has to go on a mission trip to experience a splash zone. But
Although you guys, if you get the opportunity, if God ever presents you with an opportunity to go on a mission trip, I'm going to 100% say you should go.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think that's really important for everyone to try and go if it is possible for you to do it.
And maybe your splash zone is praying for someone.
Just going and giving someone a word that you got for them.
Right.
That's
a huge one for me. It's one that I fight a lot. But then once you do it and you get to be a part of God speaking directly to someone or praying for that thing that has been pounding them down and getting to be a part of that breakthrough and that healing that they experience.
Oh gosh, yes.
That's a pretty big splash zone too.
It's a huge splash zone. You guys, getting to be a part of someone else's miracle, there are no words. There are no words.
It's true.
And let me just say, because I feel like maybe somebody needs to hear this. Because I know a lot of people talk about how incredible it is to lead someone to the Lord. And while, yes, that is incredible and it's an experience that is unlike any other, you don't know what part of someone's faith journey you're a part of.
Right.
You don't know if you're the one that helped dig the hole for the seed to go in. You don't know if you planted the seed. You don't know if you watered that seed. And you don't know if you helped water it. If you don't know if you were part of the sunshine that shone down on it.
Or if you were the person that was there when
you got to see it break through and bloom. Mm-hmm. Because that's when you see salvation happen, is the bloom. But there were a lot of people along that path getting to that bloom that were a part of this faith journey. And the salvation is the big show, and it's the show off part, but it couldn't have happened if the person didn't dig the hole, plant the seed, water the seed, shine the light, and then continue to water.
Right.
That's a long journey. As anyone knows, if you're a gardener, you know how long it takes to cultivate a bloom. So you need to know that every step of that journey is incredibly important. Sure, the person that gets the glory may be the one that got to be there when they prayed the prayer, but you don't know where they are in the growing process. So it's important to move when God says move, and to pray if you feel it on your heart to pray, and to speak when he says to speak. And if you just know something, if you're like, I just know that I'm supposed to do this, but you're not like, oh, I think I heard God. Maybe you didn't hear something, but you just know something. That's you hearing from God. It just doesn't sound the same, because there are hearers, there are seers, there are feelers, and there are knowers. And knowers are usually the ones that they're like, I feel like we're supposed to do this. Mm-hmm. And usually those people feel like they're the least spiritual person in the room. That may be you, but you're a knower. And God still put that thought in your head. You just didn't hear it. You didn't hear the audible voice of God. You didn't hear it in this still quiet voice. You didn't, the way that people talk about hearing God maybe doesn't register for you, but you know something because you feel like you're supposed to do something, but then you're like, oh, I don't know if I heard God.
Right.
Let me just give you this little piece of truth, if it's gnawing at you and you're like, I really feel like I'm supposed to do this, but I'm unsure if I heard God. You heard God. If you're still wrestling with it, you probably heard God. If it's still in your mind, you probably heard God. Some people see visions or pictures, and it's pretty clear to them that that was from God. And some people would classify them as super spiritual, but they're not degrees of spirituality in that. If you're a knower, you're a seer, you're a feeler, which they feel, and they're just, people maybe write them off as emotional. That's me. I lead with feelers. But Christy, I would wager that you're more of a knower. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. But like, I think that people need to hear these things because it sheds some light on when people are like, you hear God, it's like, well, but I don't hear anything.
Right. Right. I just know something to be true.
Yes, exactly. Because you're a knower.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you're less spiritual than a hearer.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes it ebbs and flows. Sometimes you can hear, and then you're like, oh, whoa, hey, I just heard something.
Right.
That's new.
Maybe I should be medicated.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, where's your splash zone?
Yeah.
Go sit in it. Let's get splashed.
Let's go get splashed.
I know. We love you. We are praying for you. We are very excited that Christy went to Nineveh. Nobody really knows what that means, but I don't actually even know what that means because she's never told me. I'm just excited. And we will see you, I guess, once all of our children have started school.
Yeah.
Wow. Our next
Back to school.
Our
Back
next
to school.
Yeah. Our next episode will drop the day school begins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man.
That's heavy.
Yeah, it is.
Woo! All right. Well, follow us on social media at Sendhelp Podcast. Go to our website, thesendhelppodcast.com. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.